You know, seriously, which one is worse, too big or too small? I know that there was quite a bit of gaping in the back, and I think it might have had something to do with the straps, to be honest, because it's not as much gaping as it was, but it still gapes a bit because the top is too big. You know, I don't want to encourage you to go out and buy a pattern, but I don't think you'll be disappointed if you get this pattern. You won't be disappointed if you have it and you make it for sure. Hey, 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 it's Terry, Virginia's daughter, and I am back today with New Look 6493. Oh my goodness, y'all. This pattern right here, this is a keep. I think this is also a classic. I think you can wear this now and 10 years from now. I think this is a style that will stand the test of time. I made View B, which I have on now, which kind of resembles the fabric from View E. I got this fabric at Hobby Lobby a while ago and was so glad that I was able to put it to this good use. And I also made View D, which is out of a fabric that I purchased from a fabric store in Hartford, Connecticut last summer when I traveled there. So I would make every single one of these views. If you don't have this pattern, you got to get it. If you have it, you got to make it before the summer is over. I saw that, I think Rochelle of Handmade Designs is doing a type of hot summer series. And I'm going to tell you what, somebody's got to make this pattern, okay? Because this is cute. Let's talk a little bit about the pattern. You get, is that a mini? I don't know. You get a romper, you get a jumpsuit, you get a longer dress and a shorter dress. So you get one that's on the maxi side. That's what I'm wearing. And you get this little tank. For the tank top, you only need like 5/8 up to the size. So it goes from sizes. So you see how excited I am. It ranges in size from 6 to 18. And for the tank, starting with the size 6, you only need half a yard of fabric. It's knit only. And then up to the 18, you need 5/8. So this is like a 1 yard wonder. You can make this in no time. This is a great pattern. I would say this is a pretty easy pattern. It's got some great details. So it has this, it has princess seams here, right? Of course, it has the elasticized waist. It has like adjustable straps. And I say that because, you know, you can adjust. I left enough space in here to adjust the straps if I ever had to. The straps are a nice detail. I love the front neckline and the back neckline. Can you see that? I hope it's not gaping open because, you know. I didn't make the sash for the dress that I have on. It's because I want to make a self fabric belt. But I knew if I waited to do that, this video would not be out here right now. So hopefully by the time I publish this, I'll have a shot of the dress with the self-made belt that I wanted to make. As you can see, I did end up making the sash. That's just because when I went to Joann Fabrics, they didn't have any accessories that I needed to make that belt. And I was like, you know what? I'm not ordering anything online. I'm not going to Hobby Lobby. I'm not going to another Joann's. I will make the sash. These are 2 other projects that I made in Indiana. Remember my last video, I talked about sewing on the go. These 2 projects are also part of the sewing on the go. I completed the jumpsuit almost with the exception of the hem, I think, before I left Indiana. And then I finished this one when I got back home to Ohio. And I sewed both of them in white thread. So that was a saving grace there. At one point, I was constructing the garments simultaneously because I had the same color thread. So that was very helpful. That's something you can think about that I didn't add to that video talking about sewing on the go. Think about projects that you could sew, you know, where you only had to use one color thread. I had a cone of white thread and that's all I used the whole time. So I forgot to add that. Let's talk about the ease on this pattern. Let's see, 30 and a half bust. Hold on, let's see how we do this. So ease is the difference between the standard measurements and the finished garment measurements. So let's see, 37, I don't know. Let's see. That's another thing about these patterns is the ease is printed right on it. Is it printed on the other ones? I wasn't sure.
I should have had this written down. My bad.
I wasn't reading that envelope right, so let's see.
Okay.
Four and a half inch ease in the bust. For just the pants, there's a 5-inch ease, and then the skirt has a 4-inch ease. How about that? Okay. So I need to go down about 2 sizes. And I'm going to sound like a broken record when it comes to some of these new look patterns, because for some reason I cut them big. I mean, I'm like, I cut them big. I don't know. But I know what I have to do. Going forward, I am going to have to sew my size. Talking about sizing very quickly. In my sewing, as I think back, I've always erred on the side of larger. You know what I mean? So even when I was at my largest and I was sewing, I would sew larger because I was just, the idea of something being too small just messed me up. I mean, I've done it before where I've made something and it was too little and I'm like, seriously, which one is worse, too big or too small? I don't know. You got to get it just right. That's what fit is all about. But I said that to say that, you find yourself in your sewing journey, focusing on different things. And so I think right now I have to focus on fitting a smaller top and a larger bottom. The skirt has a slit up the front. They have these nice pockets. So it's very simple, so I started with the jumpsuit because I just love that fabric. I also got a pink colorway, which is pretty, but not as pretty as the purple, I don't think. And I'm going to be using this for a dress. It's some type of cotton for sure, but it's got a little sheen to it, so it's not 100% cotton. I have worn the jumpsuit and it is a little, I don't have as much slack. It's okay to have a little slack, I think, as long as you're not, exposing yourself. But I don't have enough slack in the straps. And so I feel like the straps causes the jumpsuit to rise up some. So I kept having to pull it down. So I'm going to adjust the straps. The front strap is pretty much attached 5/8, like to the T. But the back strap has some excess because you use the back strap to adjust. So you actually stitch the front strap early on when you make the bodice, but the back strap is just basted until you're completely done with the garment, and then you adjust the strap with the back strap. So I need to let some of that back strap out, to give me more room to bring that jumpsuit down a little bit. There are times that you can let things slide, and there's times you just can't. But I had to come on here and talk about these straps. When I started looking at those straps, when I was editing the video, I'm like,
we cannot have that.
So I ended up having to reset the straps. The strap itself is positioned at an angle. If your markings are right and you mark your pattern well, match the markings up, I think you'll be fine. The front does fit a lot better. You can see that the straps are set in better. The back is not as gaping. I am going to keep this
Dress.
I'm gonna keep this dress, okay?
At one point I was like, you could donate it, and no, I'm keeping it. So if I had to put a pin here, a little pin in the back, whatever, I have learned my lesson. I will size down to get a better fit in the top. The bottom fits perfect. On with the video. I am pleasantly surprised at the construction, the instructions, the drafting of new look patterns. Like, this is really the sale and purchasing these patterns. It's a good thing, right? Has opened my eyes to this brand, and I just love it. I don't think there's anything that was difficult about it. What I didn't have was interfacing this trip, and I don't know how I forgot it. I had enough fabric to use the fabric from the jumpsuit. It gives it just enough structure, to be okay. So efficiently using my resources is what I call that. I started out with a needle because this is pretty lightweight. So I started out, I think, with a 75 or 70. I think it was a 70 to 75, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, whenever I hit this embroidered piece, the thread would break, so I had to get a larger needle. So I should have started with a 75. So that's just a word to the wise, is that, if you have something that's going to create additional texture to your fabric, then your needle has to be adjusted for that. Talking about notions, all you need, other than thread, is elastic. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. This is one of the cutest, most comfortablest, right, easy patterns that you will ever make. So, I don't want to encourage you to go out and buy a pattern, but I don't think you'll be disappointed if you get this pattern. Hobby Lobby, they've moved these patterns back to a different area. So go back there and check and see if this pattern is in there. If it is, get it. Do you have this pattern? Are you going to get it? Have you made it yet? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in today. Create something fabulous. And until next time, take care.